Today, I'm going to teach you how to stop wasting your turns in Umamusume by simply staying away from this as much as possible, which is part of an endgame strat for building great Umas. And the reason why so many players are building outstanding Umas for the Champions Meet, although being free to play like myself, it's not because we're whales, because even whales can be bad. It's because we understand how inefficient resting is and how to bypass it. And if you're resting more than 8 times per career when you're training your Umas, then this video is for you. And I know that some of you are going to beat yourselves up by the fact that you have been resting chronically in your careers, but the truth is we all have, myself included. But don't worry, because today I'm going to explain everything you need to know about mastering the art of not resting, when to skip or do friendship training, which turns don't have value, how long to build on hints, and much more. And I guarantee after you've watched this video, by simply taking away only what I'm about to teach you about energy and skipping resting, you're going to be so shocked by the results. So let's get started. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. Now, for you to understand the career run, you first need to understand our options outside of resting and what can recover energy or help us manage our energy without resting. Someone like me who's come now to master this, I only rest a maximum of 6 times per career, and I mean maximum. And as soon as I started to do this, and by training with the exact same legacies and the exact same support cards as before, my stat output has gotten absurdly better. So beyond resting, what other energy recovery options do we have? Well, here's a few. The first one is wit training, where you recover 5 energy each time you train on wit. The next one is recreation, that has 3 scenarios at random, of which 2 recover energy, with the best one being the shrine visit that can recover from 10 to 30 energy, but is also RNG like the scenario. Event categories such as special events, support card events, after race events, events with choices, and some more. But don't worry, we're only going to focus on those that are most frequent. Then we also have the summer trainer camp that mixes resting and recreation together and locks its energy recovery at 50, which doesn't have the RNG of regular resting being 30, 50, and 70, and also the lottery event during the senior year that comes in the first half of January. And there's also the claw machine, but we'll talk about that one in another video. Now, the one and only tool that we have above that isn't RNG based for energy recovery and that we can use all the time is wit training. Now, to clarify, the energy you recover from wit training is not influenced by the wit training level, which increases depending on how many times you've trained on that stat category. What does change with the higher level of wit training is more speed and wit, but skill points and energy recovery value stay the exact same. Now, when you train on wit, you can increase the amount of energy you recover with friendship training, aka rainbow training, with some wit support cards, but not all of them, as they need to have this effect. However, and please listen to me carefully here, you do not need any wit support cards to master what I'm about to teach you in this video. Quite the opposite, actually. The goal here is not to rely on those, but instead to teach you the art of doing this without any wit support cards and the value of avoiding resting as often as you can. So if you're trying to maximize your stat output to build an Uma for PvP and you're resting more than 8 times in that career, then unfortunately you are losing that career, because each turn you're resting is a turn you gain nothing. Although sometimes it has value, which we'll get into, but also mustn't be underestimated, as it has the ability to trigger negative statue events that reduce energy and apply conditions such as Night Owl that will force you to skip a turn at the infirmary, if not even more. And when I stream on Twitch, I often get asked how I achieved my goal of 600 wit on my careers and other stats when I'm not even running a wit card and resting like 5-6 times for the entire career. Well, now that you understand our recovery options, I'm going to show you with a career. Now, I'm going to build a medium pace chaser augury cup for the Taurus Cup, and so I'm setting the stage for that here. But before we dive in, I want to clarify something. I know some viewers might look at my legacies and support cards and think, dude, this is only going to work because of your setup. I can't control what you believe, but that is not true. What I'm teaching you today about energy and turn management works regardless of your count level, and I'm not running any with support cards here to increase my recovery through friendship training. So your results will boost your career rank and stats significantly, but the exact numbers depend on your own legacies and support cards. I'm not promising you'll hit these exact stats, because you'll need the exact setup. So listen, I'm showing you how to maximize whatever setup you're working with. Please remember that. And don't immediately give up just because you see this part of the journey, which is me setting up my support cards and legacies. It's irrelevant. The technique itself is what matters. Applied correctly, and you'll see an incredible improvements in your career runs. That's the real goal here. Getting the most out of every single run, no matter where you're starting from. Okay, so right now I'm going to teach you how to avoid resting and the main tools we're going to use for it. Now, there are others, but to simplify this, we're only going to be mindful of 3 that we know we're going to see and have full control over, being WIT training, events in general, and summer camp. Also, this is my first run of the day, as you can see, and that's because I want this run to be as organic as possible, so that if there's any hardships, I'll be able to show you how to tackle them. None of this is scripted, and I'm recording myself here during a career, and will also show you some Twitch footage later. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to go through this entire career with you guys, and I'm going to do my best to explain every choice I make step by step and why I'm making it as well. But we're mainly going to focus on energy as being the topic and how to use WIT instead of using rest. So first turn, what do I want to focus on in the pre-debut? I want to focus on building my best support cards to the bond level 80, of which one of them here I can already see. One of my best ones is going to be Special Week, as she increases friendship training by 35%, and it's among the highest between all my support cards that I have. So we're going to start with that. Now what I like to do is when I go to turn 9 is do a recreation, and obviously as we explained before, there's RNG when it comes to recreation, as there's 3 scenarios, of which one doesn't recover energy and the other 2 do, and of which one of them has another layer of RNG. Oh, I got quite lucky here. We've got another one of Special Week. Got a hint here, but I don't need much here because she really got mostly end closer skills, so we're gonna go for this again. And as you can see, our energy is starting to drop already quite a bit, so we're at turn 9, I'm going to do recreation, and hopefully we get energy. Nope, we got a double mood. So +2 on mood, so that brought us up to great, which is okay in itself. Right, now this is a good example. Okay, I got really lucky here, obviously. But okay, so we are getting to what I call the danger zone. You see when it starts to darken here, this is where you don't want to go past. If you start going past here, it's going to be very hard to recover from that, and you're most likely going to have to rest and rely on chronically resting. So right now, although I got very lucky here with so many support cards for bond training landing here at the same time, it's not something that would really impact my decisions between energy recovery. In fact, even if there was no support cards here and I was starting to get into the darker zone, I would most likely train anyway on WIT so I can recover some energy, or I would do a race, which we can't right now, to skip the turn to see I have better luck to recover energy on the next. But you also got to be mindful that when you do race, you do lose energy as well, but we'll get into that a little bit later. So right now, I'm just going to go with this because I want to recover some energy and also do the bond trainings, obviously, and we're going to see what we're going to do next. It's all going to depend on the value among the stats and the training. So there's good value there, obviously, but if I do that, I'm going to put myself in a, in a sort of a danger zone. And if we are training with the director, we also are getting skill points. So there is value there, but I'm not going to do that. And I'm not going to do this either. If there was 3, I would probably do it, but I'm not. I'm actually going to WIT. So we got a support card event there that gave us +10 energy in addition to the 5 energy we recovered from WIT. So we're in a good place right now, and we can probably... This is good. So I've got 3 here and it's on power. Let's go for that because we need to get Kita-san Black up to bond 80 as quick as possible as well. Okay, I'm going to go back to WIT again, and not because there's 3 bonds here. It is literally because I'm at a point now that if I don't, I'm going to go much deeper, where I'm at the point of no return. I could go a little bit deeper past the dark end here, but I wouldn't recommend doing that too often because there might be a turn where you're like, oh wow, there's 4 bond training here, or 5, or rainbow training that you just can't skip on, and then you're going to push yourself here, and you're going to have to rest no matter what. And again, the RNG on this is 30, 50, and 70, and with the chances of you also getting a net negative condition, so we want to avoid that as much as we can. I'm going to go a bit faster now here because you're starting to see the gist of it. In fact, no, I'm still going to go with this because that was good with the director and 2 bonds, 2 bond trainings we could have done there, but it still really wasn't worth it. Now this is worth it because I do want to get some hints here, and the hint I really want the most is corner recovery because we want to build up for Swinging Maestro. Holster's Haste is great as well. But yeah, we mostly want to build up to Swinging Maestro with corner recovery. Wow. Okay, so we're going to go back to WIT. And again. So this is what we call an event with choices. Now, I know the first option is going to give me energy and the second option as well. But I'm going to go for the second options because it has better odds. There we go. Okay, so we completed the pre-debut and we didn't rest once, not a single time. All we did is do wit training, and we also got a support card event that gave us 10 energy. And then we also had one event with choices that gave us 30 energy based on our decision. And that was it. So now we've got skill points. So what do we do? Well, you might be tempted to spend them right away. And you can, and this is what I'm going to do here. I could hold back because although we got this from here when we started the career, I'm also able to get it again here through inspirations. I most likely only get it if I'm going to get a gold inspiration. So I am actually going to grab this one now. But we wouldn't grab anything here with one hint. And I'll explain why later. This is particularly important if you're building an Uma for team trials or the champions meet. So we'll go into that a little bit later though. Now for the race, something important to do if you are building Augury Cup as a pace chaser like I am is change the strategy to pace. And our girl is ready. Right, let's move on to the next. Okay, so we're in the junior year and we have to reach 1,500 fans to complete this year. So we have to be mindful that when we get towards near the end where the G1 races are, this is where we're going to have to complete that condition. And I think we've got Hanshi and Asahi and the hopefuls on the next. So we're going to actually schedule this one and we will maybe do this one afterwards. It's a medium, so it's all going to depend on how we get with stamina and also if we have a recovery skill. So let's get started back on the training. I'm actually going to go with wit. I'm going to fill up my energy. And if we got 3 here, 3 that I can get bond training on, then I'm going to go for it. Yes, I'm going to go for this because we've got special week here, as I explained earlier. I could go for this, but since our energy is at max, we're not going to do that. Okay, we're going to go for wit. We might as well. That was based on the decision that special week was there. I don't know if I would have done it if special week wasn't there. Okay, I'm actually going to go for wit again because we've got the director. She's going to give us skill points. Okay, so what do we have? Well, we've got Etsuko here, which if we train with her, is going to give us more stats on speed. So she's going to give us extra points for training on speed. We've got these 2 support cards that are almost at bond 80 for, you know, getting the chance to RNG Rainbow training, which is great. But we've got Kita-san Black and we've got Special Week here, which is the 2 that I really want to get to bond 80 as quick as possible. And we've also got Top Gun here, which is not bad either, especially for Professor Curvature. So I am going to go for this one. Okay. We have a situation, but it's okay. We actually might now do some recreation and hope that we get the energy one because the energy ones give +1 mood and energy. Oh, darn it. So that's twice now we've got the one recreation that we don't want to get, which is the one without energy. So, but that's good because this gets to show you that even with hardships, this is doable. Now, unfortunately, this event is not going to give me any energy, so I'm just going to get the one that gives me the most stats, the stats that I need the most, which is going to be this one with speed and stamina. Okay. We got no 3 bond trainings. We do have a hint here, but she mostly has debuff skills. So I'm going to wit. Would you look at that? Isn't that great? If only we had that earlier. Anyway, I'm going to wit again. I am staying in the good zone. Just for the sake of it, I think we might do that. Yes, I think this is going to be a good example because I don't want to put myself only in really good situations. So let's go for it. Okay. Now, this is a good point in the career. I'm actually really glad this has happened because this is where you're going to have to make a decision, a choice. Right now, we haven't rested once. But we're in a situation where we've got Kita-san and Special Week, and we do need hints from both of these. But then again, our energy is quite low. Now, we do have Etsuko here, which is going to give us an additional points in wit if we do train there, but we're mostly interested in energy. But do we go this far and risk the 12% where we're going to have to then use a rest for one of our 1 in 8 times maximum, or do we just simply wit? We can still recover from this, we can still build up, but this is actually quite good because I'll be able to get Kita-san to 180 and Special Week quite close. So I'm actually going to take this risk. So we got a support card event there that gave us plus 10 energy, which is great. And I still think we can recover now from where we are, but we do have to do a race. And we could leave it up to here because frankly, what I just saw there, yeah, we're going to go with this. Okay, so now we got to do a race. So I'm at 186 in skill points. Let's see if there's anything to grab. Anything worth grabbing? No. I don't have enough hints here, but we could get corner acceleration, and we are going to do it because none of our legacies can pass that down. So we might as well get that now. And corner acceleration is part of her innate skills, which has also the evolution, which is called corner connoisseur, as part of her awakening skills that she unlocks at potential level 5. Now, as I said before, the after race events are also quite important. This one here is going to do minus 15 energy, and this one here is going to do anything from minus 5 to minus 20 energy. So we've got to make a decision here. Either you want to play with the RNG and risk getting a plus minus 5 energy on top of the 15, which is going to be minus 20, or you go for a strict minus 15. I'm going to go for this one. Minus 5 instead of minus 15. Isn't that great? And that's how you can make conscious decisions based on solely making the right choices in the events to not then fall back on resting, where you can then focus later on the career by doing the rainbow training for aka friendship training or friendship training aka rainbow training instead, which is just far better than what you would get from any decisions that are stat based within these events. So this one here, I believe, is going to give me energy. So I'm going to go for that. There we go. And we're already halfway again. And we haven't rested once, guys. We haven't used this button once. Okay, so what should we do here? You know already. We're going to go with wit. Okay. Interesting, interesting. We have to go for this. I know it's going to put us a bit deep here, but we have to go for it because we're going to get 2 support cards to 180, which is going to start triggering friendship training RNG. So let's go for it. I'm sure by now this is kind of like all making sense to you, given the evidence that we've not rested once, we haven't used any wit support cards. Oh, one sec, I don't know this one. We're just going to go for the top one. That's awesome. So I'm sure by now it's starting to sink in the methods here. Okay, so we've got two rainbow trainings here. It might look mighty seducing to go for this, even with the risks, but let's say there was 0% failure, I still wouldn't go for this. This for me doesn't have amazing value, and I'm in a position right now where I don't want to get that deep, so I'm going to go with, yeah, I'm going to go with wit. Yep, I'm going to go with wit again. Okay, and I think I'm actually going to go with wit again. Yeah, let's go for it. And remember, every time you are training on wit, you're not only getting wit, you're also getting speed and skill points instead of resting. Okay, this is a bit of an impasse, but it's good that we are getting this much impasses and not getting any energy from recreation, because if we were, this would be too easy. And the whole goal here is actually to face these hardships and to show you guys how to overcome them. Right, this is not worth doing. This is not worth doing, so we're not going to do that. This is better. It's not bad. I'm not sure. I think we are at 80 here. It looks like it. So, but you know what? I'm actually going to do wit. And I know that might sound crazy because there's nothing on there. There's no support constable on train, but yeah. Did we just get 2 corner adepts there? Wow, we maxed it out. That's fantastic. So we are going to grab... We're actually going to grab corner connoisseur first, and then we're going to get corner adept next. Let me just have a quick peek here. Okay, now this has value. So when there's 2 rainbow training at the level that I am when it comes to building my Umas for Champions Meet or Team Trials, this is the kind of training I would put myself at risk for. This is the kind of training where I would sacrifice a lot of energy, would put me in a position where I might have to rest. This is worth grabbing. So let's go for it. I cannot remember, but we're going to go for this one. 10 stamina, I'll take it. No, I wouldn't go for this. It's like I said, it kind of depends, because if there was special week here, it would probably be, I think it would be around 40 something, and I might go for it, but yeah. We are going to go with wit. And by the way, guys, I've trained more on wit than I have anywhere else. And as you can see, we are still blasting through all the G1 races. And that's because I'm not losing on stats by doing that. I'm actually gaining much more than I would then from resting. Paying it forward. I don't recall this one, but let's go for that. Straight away adept. Heck, I'll take it. Right. You know what? We might rest here. We might actually rest, guys. This will be the first time resting. We are falling a little bit behind here when it comes to speed. Our speed should always be above our stamina. And we are falling a little bit behind. So we are going to have to prioritize speed very soon. And I think the best way to go about that now would actually be to rest. And I was going to try and save that for when we're going to go to the summer camp, because that's when you should be resting and using this, because it's locked at 50. And we also got a +1 in mood being, you know, rest and recreation fused together. I wonder. You know what? No, let's train wit again. Let's get that energy up. I don't regret doing that, but I'm in a situation where I would have to go for wit again, and I don't think it's a good idea to do that right now. If I'm going to go for a race, it's going to be that one. Let's rest. This will be our first rest. We've got lucky as well with the... Oh, I take that back. We didn't get lucky there. Now, that was the first time I rested, and I immediately got a blue condition. And this is a great example of how inefficient resting is and why it should be avoided as much as possible. Now, I'm going to have to go to the infirmary, and I'm also at risk of skipping some other turns on the basis that I'm not guaranteed to be able to remove that conditions. There are more odds for me to remove it. The percentages are better and are in my favor, but I've been at times where I've actually missed it more than 3, so let's just hope that we can get rid of it. But before we do, let me just see what's going on over here. Nothing that has extreme value to go against migraine blues, so we're going to go to the infirmary. This does recover energy as well, and we cured it. Okay, fantastic. Now we're at the summer's camp here. Now this is where you should be resting. Right now we've got only 1 rest under our belt, and I try to actually do all my rests at summer camp. So if I'm doing a career where I'm doing only 6 or 5, I try to do 2 here each time, because this is where usually you have your bonds up to level 80 and your support cards are rainbow training. Unfortunately, this is a pretty disgusting turn and I didn't get lucky here, but that's good because that shows you again that even with these hardships, this is achievable. Let's have a look at the races. I'm going to schedule that one for later. So what should we do here? I think our best option would be to... We're going to go with speed because we are falling behind. Unfortunately, this is again a pretty disgusting turn. Let's go with power. I'm going to rest and recreate now for my mood so that hopefully now on my last turn at the beach, we are going to get a very good rainbow training. Let's see. What do we got? It's not bad, I suppose. Cool. Yeah, that wasn't bad. Okay, so we're back to managing our energy because we are getting in the darker zone. So let's do that. I'm surprised we didn't get any extra training events yet because those are one of the tools that we can use where you should always take the second option being the 5 energy. Always. Because trading 5 energy with the above option for 5 stats is not smart. Because that energy could be used for something like rainbow training, which is just far better multipliers. So it's better just to take the energy because it also helps you not resting and contributes to you having maybe a more decent turn on the next turn. So let's see. I don't know if I actually want to go for this. No, we're going to wit train, aka rest. Oh, and by the way, right now we have rested 2 times in total because we did 1 rest during our career and then 1 rest at the summer camp. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with some wit here. And our wit's building quite high because we have been very fortunate when it comes to the support cards landing on wit. So actually, I should have taken the above option there. I actually think the above option does give energy. I can't remember exactly, but let me just check what this is. I actually am going to go for this. Yeah, actually I'm going to go for this because she's going to give me some skill points as well. So this is worth putting me in the center. Very, very tempting. Very, very tempting. Let me just quickly put in corner adept before I forget. Voila. We want to get power up and also speed because we want to keep speed above stamina and our power is falling a bit behind. So I am going to go for this. Although if I do train here, I will also get more points in stamina because Etsuko is here. But I am going to go for speed. It's the priority right now. We've got 1 level again in Gourmand. So that means our Gourmand should be, yeah, fantastic. And yeah, we're good. Yeah, so we have been lucky with the bond training because it has been landing on wit at times where we were going to train on wit anyway. So we've been quite fortunate with that. Tricky. No, we are just going to go for wit without any subcards on there. That is fine. And as you can see, I'm making the right choices when it comes to the events. And this is without game Torah. Sometimes I'll make a mistake here and there, but I do remember most of them. So when you can remember them and you know there's energy in one of 2 choices when it comes to events or choices, always go for the energy. And if you're unsure, just go on GameTorah.com. Okay, so there's nothing actually I need to grab here, so we're going to go straight for the race. This is a tough one. Oh, second. Okay. I did think we would come first there. I'm not sure what happened. That's okay. We're still doing really well. We are a little bit behind on speed. A little bit behind. Right, so this option gives energy. This option gives +5 and 5 in each stat. And I think this option gives 30 energy to memory. And this should be enough. So I'm going to go for this one. So that was a little bit over energy. So I lost about 8 energy there. But I rather do that than giving the 5 stats right now. Because we are at a point where we can get lucky with the rainbow training. Unfortunately, I haven't been very lucky with the rainbow training. And we don't have many good options here at all. Let's see if we could maybe skip this turn with a race. Not really, huh? There's one we could use here to skip because it's a G1. I don't really like skipping on the others though, so let's go for speed. Okay. That was the raffle where we spoke about that earlier, where that you do have odds also of recovery and you can plan around that because it's always fixed at the senior year. Anyway, let's obviously do this. Okay, now I'm going to go for speed because we are a bit behind on speed here. Now I'm going to cancel that one. And we're going to train on wit to get some energy. Not a good turn, so we should probably... Yeah, let's just get some guts in. Professor Curvature. We'll grab it straight away because the hints are worth getting now, as we had max hints on Corner Adept. And as you can see, even for the skills, you're learning something here from that as well. I wouldn't go for this yet because I can get 1 more. And I wouldn't go for Corner Recovery yet either. But I could start going for Gourmand, although I do have a card that can give me Hydrate, so I will probably hold off on Hydrate until I get closer to the end. We'll see. Yeah, not a great turn. We're just going to recover some energy. My wit is higher than I wanted because usually at the end of the career I want to be around 600 mark like most of my other Umas as you've seen. But we've been very lucky when it comes to training on wit, as in we've had a lot of support cards spawn on there and come train with us, so the stats have been better in most cases. When it comes to rainbow training, we've not been that fortunate. We still are not. It's starting to become a problem because we are starting to fall behind a little bit here. At least for my account. In this case, I'm actually going to rest. This will be our third time. That was pure bad RNG as well, unfortunately. But it is what it is. Yikes. Yeah, no, we're really not getting much luck here. Yeah, let's see what we have here. Nope, it's terrible. So now let's go with the Victoria Mile. Let's get that race under the belt so we get one of the G1 races out of the way. We're gonna go for the second. -5 energy. That's great. I like always going from the second. That's just preference. You don't have to. You can just go for the above one, which is -15 energy, but I prefer rolling the dice, personally. Yeah, I think if we go for this, it's going to put us in a position again where we're going to have to rest. And let me just check what's going on here. Now we haven't had any more luck, so let's get our other G1 done. There we go. Yikes. You see, that's the only problem with that. And we've got a high value rainbow training here, aka friendship training. Now this is a problem. Would you take the shot here? No. It's so high risk. You would only actually take the shot here if you feel like your career has just been awful and that you can only recoup if you were to take this risk and win it. And then if you would lose, you would just then give up, obviously. But yeah, we're not going to roll the dice there. We're in a position now where we should probably just do a race to skip this turn. We're going to go for Swing Maestro now because we've maxed out Corner Recovery. We're going to do a race. Obviously, it's going to lower our energy further, but we are going to have options. But it's good. It's good because you are seeing a career where my luck has not been great, and you're still going to see the output afterwards. This is what I meant about you're going to have better options. We're now at the final summer camp. So now this is where we can rest. And this is what we're going to do right away because we don't want to take this risk. Okay, fantastic. So we're starting to make some progress here. Now I have to go for this. It's 9%. So hopefully, okay, we're not been that unlucky. That's great. Okay, now this is not a good turn. Now we're going to rest again. This is where we're banking on resting because this is where the magic usually happens. We are going to get some energy and we're back. So what do we have now? It's not a great turn again. We are going to go on wit for some energy again. And because we're quite desperate for speed right now and power, I am going to do this and we're going to get some skill points from it as well from the director. Yeah, I mean, we're going to have to go on wit again. I have more wit than I usually want because when you get to 600 wit, the returns, when you're just focusing on skill activation, the returns is very poor after 600. But wit serves our purpose, so it's not disgusting either. There's nothing I see that I want to grab right now. We're just going to go for the race and hold on to our skill points. Obviously, we're going to win this with ease. Because our stat spread for completing our career is perfect. Okay, so we're closing in towards the end here, as you can see. So these are our last 3 turns before we reach the finals. And right now, again, we haven't had much luck when it comes to our turns. We are going to have to start really banking on some stats I'm just hoping we get very lucky with the rainbow training at the end there. We've only had really one good rainbow training, and it's a new day. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, so we're back, and let's... Ooh, very nice. Okay, that's pretty much what we needed to bounce back. Let's go for it. Unfortunately, this should have been to level 4, but because I didn't have enough fans, I missed one. And that's on me. I think I was too focused on explaining what I'm trying to achieve here. So that's fine, that's fine. We were just missing one race there, I believe. Now we're going to move into the finals. Again, this Korea was only meant to show you how to build an Uma efficiently without resting and how much more stats you are going to get by doing that in the process, and also how to manage your skills when you are choosing them based on how many hints you've gathered at what point in your career and what races you're about to enter. Right now, I'm just going to go for Gourmand because I don't think I'm going to get a hint for Hydrate at this point. And since we're at the qualifying run, well, I guess from where I am now, I'm just going to go with Wit again, get 5 energy, and hope that on the next round, I'm going to get extremely lucky with the Rainbow Training. We'll see. Not bad. Honestly, not bad. Let's go for it. Yeah, okay. We'll just jump on the race. Yeah. Tricky, tricky, tricky. Now, if I was to get this, then I would secure my 1200 speed. I'm already at a good point right now, and I'm going to get above 1150 speed, so I am going to be at SS+, which is great. But it would be nice to have 1200, and I haven't been very lucky in this career. A lot of times things have gone not the way that they were supposed to for me even to do the demonstration, but that's a good thing. Because if everything were easy and you were to face the hardships on your own, you wouldn't know what to do. So in a case like this, I think I might actually roll the dice. The odds are more than against me. Then again, we could just win it. Let's go for it. What? That's how we do it. Let's go. And we've got no more energy. We've just landed at the end of the career, and that is amazing. That is amazing. Okay, so we've reached 1200 speed. We've completed the entire career, and we got all the skills we wanted to at the right time and maximized our output with the skill points as well. But most importantly, we only rested 5 times in the entire career. Now for the skills I want to pick last, there's not many skills left here that I'm after, and I'll probably have to grab a filler skill here as well, as there's not many that are relevant to the Futurist Cup. But frankly, since we skipped a unique skill leveling event for the sake of the tutorial's focus, we won't be using this Uma for CM anyway. So we might as well just pick the skill that we reckon would be best as a White Spark skill and also a filler. And hopefully we get a 3-star Blue Spark. And here's the end result. Again, as you've seen from my other builds, I wouldn't usually go this high with Wit, as 600 Wit is the perfect stopping point for your Ace Umas. But we got very fortunate when it came to support cards appearing on Wit on those turns we were training and trying to get energy, and very unfortunate when it came to the other stat trainings. But still, overall, we did an output of over, let's see, let me just add this up in my head. This is definitely over 3,000, and I think this is about 3,600, which is fantastic. And again, we only rested 5 times and used our resting tokens mostly at the summer camp in the classic and senior year, which is what you want to do since all stat training goes up to level 5 and resting there is more beneficial with less risks attached. That's it. I just want to say, well done. You've come such a long way in Umamusume, and I want you to know that I'm proud of you and I'm grateful for you putting your trust in me for your guides. And don't forget to comment on what you would like to see next. Anyway, if you're new here, why not hit that subscribe button? I'll do my part and keep bringing you high effort Umamusume guides packed with tips and tricks to help you succeed. This was Static. Remember to have fun, and I'll see you in the next one.